Alright everybody, welcome back to some more live coding. Let's turn this music down. Alright, so today's topic is Apache Cordova. Apache Cordova is a framework that lets you build mobile apps with HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. If you're familiar with Electron, you can think of Cordova as Electron for mobile. I'm pretty sure Cordova's been around since before Electron, so you can think of Electron more as the Cordova for desktops. That's probably a little more accurate. But it's going to allow us to reuse HTML, CSS, and JavaScript. And actually, Cordova does let you target desktop. It lets you target the browser, it lets you target Windows, it lets you target OS X, and it lets you target Android and iOS. But in particular, I'm going to be focusing on Android today, since that's the one that we can most easily test here. So the agenda for today is just figure out what it is, why we might use it, well, to make a mobile app, obviously, and not only can you get your interface all done with HTML, CSS, and JavaScript, but you can access all the native things, like the camera, and the phone, and the vibrator, and the GPS, and the SMS, and all that good stuff. So it would be an alternative to writing an app in native Java, or Swift, or Objective-C, or whatever, and it would also be basically a competitor to React Native, or NativeScript, or Beware for Python, or Kivy for Python. Those are some potential alternatives for making mobile apps. So one thing worth mentioning too is PhoneGap. PhoneGap is Adobe's version of Cordova, and it is Cordova. It is Cordova. It's built on top of Cordova. They just added a thin layer of automation on top of it. And you can actually build your Cordova app. The Cordova app that we make, we should be able to build it with PhoneGap if we wanted to. But essentially you upload your code and they build it for you. But they also give you a couple of extra APIs that you can add on. So, but yeah, you can see Cordova Blink Up plugin, Cordova plugin. So these are straight up Cordova apps, but PhoneGap is like it's a paid service. Well, I guess that's where they link you to. They link you from PhoneGap to the Cordova plugin library. So if that doesn't kind of show you, but we're not going to need PhoneGap to build it. We're going to build everything locally. Although I believe this is free, so you can use PhoneGap. It will make things probably a little bit easier and a little bit nicer, but I'm not going to explore that for now. Maybe in another stream, but we're just going to stick with regular Cordova. So if we just scroll down on their homepage, which is cordova.apache.org, then let's see, npm install Cordova. Okay, so it is JavaScript and it's Node.js that we're going to build it in, so we're going to do an npm install, and we want to install it globally, so we do -g and let that run for a minute. Okay, so we install it, we need a node and npm. Create a project. Okay, create a blank Cordova project using the command line tool. For a complete set of options, type Cordova help create. Let's try Cordova help create. May Cordova anonymously report usage statistics. I will allow it. Okay. So these are some of the options. We can give it a path, ID, name, config. Here's an example. Cordova create my app, blah blah blah. So this is typically Java style packaging. I'm pretty sure you'll need that for doing your Android app. So we'll try Cordova create. We're going to call it Cordova GPS tool. That's the thing that we're going to make and build today. And I'm going to call it com.devdungeon. Cordova GPS tool. That's the package name. Okay, so that the last one is the class name. Cordova GPS tool, and then I'll just call it GPS tool. That'll be the main class. Okay, so it made us a new project. I wonder what it actually... Okay, so Cordova GPS tool. I'm going to use Visual Studio Code and pop it open and just to inspect the file structure that it made. So we've got our package.json. That's pretty straightforward for any NPM project, any node project. The config.xml is Cordova specific, or I should say, this looks more Android specific. Yeah, okay, so platform Android, platform iOS. Yeah, so this is going to be the cross-platform one, but we're going to be more interested in Android settings. Okay, and then the npm ignore. We've got plugins, empty. Platforms, empty. Hooks, just has a readme. Cordova hooks represents special scripts which could be added by application developers, or even by your own build system to customize Cordova commands. Yeah. Okay, not interested in that right now. Resources. Note that the image resources are not copied into a project when a project is created with the CLI, although they're all default images, resources. Okay, whatever. Screen, icon, oh wow. So look at all these different mobile that it supports. Not that I really care about supporting BlackBerry. I'm really more interested in just supporting Android, maybe iOS, but I've never wanted to pay for their license, so forget it. Just Android, and it looks like you can... These are the default icons, so if you customize these, then your app will have a custom icon. Okay, and then www, that must be where all the magic happens. This is basically our web app. We've got our index.html, index.js, logo, some CSS, so it's just pretty much a normal web app. Now, the trick... Yeah, Cordova.js. That's got to be like the magic glue, and that's not even represented anywhere in the project. That's kind of built into it. So let's see. Add a platform. Cordova platform add browser. Okay. Cordova platform add browser. Using Cordova fetch to pull the browser package. Creating Cordova project for browser. Discovered plugin, installing, adding, saving, done. Okay, so let's see what did it change over here. It updated our package.json and it added a platforms down here. Okay, this is the same. Our platforms now actually has something in it. It's got a browser, and inside of it, it's got a browser.json. A whole bunch of dub stuff. Interesting. Okay, so I don't think we'll have to mess with any of that. I think that's just there for kind of the library's needs. But I'm also going to do platform add Android because I'm more interested in the Android one. Oh, I think I need to do... did it find? I have to export my Android home and grep Android home. Oh, I do have it set. Okay, good. Yeah, so you have to have your Android home variable set usually to make sure it can find the SDK. Okay, so now in the Android platforms directory, yeah, we've got what we would expect to see in an Android app. The Gradle files, the build files. Yeah, so that's a Gradle build file. This is where you would end up, or the... Yeah, so... I'm just kind of browsing and seeing what it looks like. Yeah, so the manifest is where you would set, like, permissions you need. But I'm guessing that if you just set the permissions you need properly in your config.xml, like if you go in here and you say, I need internet permission, then it will automatically update these things here when you build. So that's what I'm assuming. I guess we'll go through here and we'll figure it out. Okay, so then we do Cordova run browser, Cordova run browser, and there it is. It says device is ready, but I guess that just means the browser, because right now the device is just the browser. We said run browser, so why don't we try run Android? Could not find installed version of Gradle. Okay, let me try apt install Gradle. Yeah, it's gonna have to install all that stuff. It's alright, I've got fast internet. Alright, it's already done. Now, let me try it again. Cordova run Android. Alright, it's building. So I'm wondering if it'll automatically launch my device, or if it's going to tell me that it couldn't find a device. I can pop one open real quick in my console. I've got an alias for running my Android device. My emulator, I should say. Fake device. Spudley, are you impressed with my internet speed? And welcome back, by the way. Oh, it. I guess it loaded up my last started emulator, which happens to be a TV. It's supposed to be an Android TV, so. Kind of the opposite of a mobile phone, but it's interesting. At least we know that it does in fact run on the Android TV. Let me close out of that one. Let me see. Wait till it fully closes out. I guess it's gone now. Okay, so I'm gonna pop open my. I have one called AVD. Yeah, so that runs explicitly my Nexus 5 emulated phone. So now if I run Cordova Android run, I'm expecting it to run in this phone over here, since it's already, there we go. It just finds the first available device. Okay, cool. Well, we confirmed it runs on the phone, the TV, and the browser. Neat. Okay, now let's do something else with it. Okay, cool. So we did installation hello world, but how do we just get the APK? Oh, it just says right there, built the following APKs. Okay, let's say open containing folder. Okay, so it went in platforms, Android app build out, APK debug, and there it is, 1.7 megabytes. So if we wanted to, we could just take the APK and drag and drop it onto our emulator, and it will install the app for us. So if we go here, we can probably find it. There it is, GPS tool. And it's got a little Cordova icon, but that's okay. Alright. Excellent. So let's close all of our apps. Okay. Updates, go ahead. Just don't ask me to reboot. Now, what else can we do? Well, let's see. So that built the DPS, I'm sorry, the debug. So what if we did Cordova build Android? Will that build a release version? No, it still built the debug APK. Okay, so let's go back here. Common next steps. Read the docs, add a plugin, customize app icons, and configure your app. Well, I'm pretty sure if I just want to customize my icons, I just go in here and I edit these. So this is the K-Paint. I dragged and dropped it. It literally pasted the file names. I thought it would maybe do the image, but I guess not. Okay, whatever. That's okay. I was just messing around. I don't really care about customizing the icon right now. And I did the build, but it's still built the debug one, but that's okay. I'll figure that out later. Okay, so yeah, what? Read the docs. What's next? Well, we have our... Okay, actually I do want to see Cordova, build, Android, release. Dash release? Was that it? I saw that in there. Let me see. Dash release. Did it completely ignore my flag, or did it... Oh, it did! It did work! Awesome, look at that. Okay, so now... And it's unsigned, which is okay. 1.7 megabytes, so it came out the same size, at least for the basic one. But at least then we don't have all the debug stuff in it, so good. I'm actually going to take a couple notes here. Maybe I'll just pop open this and say... Cordova notes. So what did we do so far? We installed it, so it's installing it is basically npm install -g Cordova. Start a new project, and what did we do there? We did Cordova new, or was it Cordova create history? Grep Cordova. I'm gonna copy exactly what I did there and make this bigger. Oh no. Bad copy paste. There we go. Example. Let me look at this. Okay, and what else did we do? Yeah, add platforms, and that was Cordova platform add browser, platform add Android, and then running and building was Cordova run browser, Cordova run Android, and then there was Cordova build Android and Cordova build Android -- release. I just want space. Okay. Oops, I just meant to say running and build, not running / Android. Okay, that's all the notes I want to take for now. Okay. So that's all we did so far, right? Okay. Cordova notes.rst, and I'm gonna put that in my cookbook. JavaScript. Yeah, I'll just put it in the JavaScript folder for now. Cordova notes. Okay, cool. So just to keep track of kind of what we did. Okay, so we looked at this, we looked at how to package for Android. Oh yeah, so how to create an Android plugin. Basically what I found was that, let's say that there's a new Android API out that's not supported, or there's one in some specific version that may not be supported, or you have your own code in Java already, like you've already written a native piece of Java Android code, and you just want to expose it to Cordova. You can do that. So you can basically wrap any Java code and just expose it to the Cordova JavaScript. And that's what all these plugins are about. That's what all these do, basically. So you can write your own logic natively and then just pop it in. So let's see over here. Creating a plugin. A plugin is a package of injected code that allows Cordova WebView within the app to communicate with the native platform it runs on. Oh, sorry, Spudley has a question. Says, what are you using that makes it say Ubuntu Cordova-GPS-tool? I'm not sure where you're talking about. Do you mean like in my terminal? Oh, that is just my Z shell. That's just my Z shell prompt. So if I open my my Z shell RC. Oh no, I think it's coming straight from the theme that I'm using. So yeah, the theme I'm using is called Takashi Yoshida. And so I think it's in my home factory in an Oh My Z shell, and then there's themes, and then there is the Takishayodi, whatever. And so yeah, here's the prompt. It's just a PS1. It's just a PS1 environment variable, basically. I'm not sure if it's PS1 Z shell or it's just prompt. It's literally prompt. Oh, you said it here, yeah. So there's a whole bunch of different themes, actually. Check this out. You can do this. What I'm going to do is copy this and put it in my local Z shell one. And you can do random. Watch. Maybe I need to get rid of the other one. You can do random. Yeah, there we go. So now you can see every time I pop open Z shell, it's giving me a different theme, and the different themes, like this one tells you what Git branch you're on as part of it. It also tells you where you are, and so every time I open Z shell, it gives me a different theme, and there's a whole bunch of different ones in there. And the one I'm using, it's just one I kind of liked. Takashi Yoshida. Anyway. So yeah, Z shell, you want Z shell and Oh My Z shell. That's what you want. I'm gonna pop that in chat just for the benefit of everybody. Y'all want Oh My Z shell. And so I guess while we're here, sorry for the aside, guys, but I hope that you find things like this valuable, the little trivia things. Yeah, dude, I like Z shell a lot better, Spudley. It's worth it, and you don't really have to do any. You don't have to do any learning. It's just better Bash. Like, that's about it. Like, you'll very rarely run into a situation where a shell script doesn't work, but typically you have the shebang on your shell script that calls Bash anyway. So you don't have to worry about what your personal shell is. So yeah, I do have this repository I use called NanoBim, and it's basically got my dot files, which is basically my Z shell RC. And then, like, I have a script called Set Me Up, and it basically, I run it on a fresh machine where I've just installed and switched over to Z shell, and I run it, and it'll clone and set up Z shell if it's not already set up. It'll set up my Z shell RC file, and it creates a local one, which is where I put my local overrides for whatever machine I'm currently working on. And I've got a ton of aliases, so if I do ZRC, that pops open my Z shell RC so I can edit it, but that's my global one. So if I do ZRCL, that pulls up my local one, and my local one is ignored by Git, so it doesn't get added to the repository. Anyway, let's see. So getting back to the plugin development. Okay, so application developers use the CLI plugin add command to add a plugin to a project. The argument to the command is the URL to the Git repository containing the plugin code. This example implements Cordova's device API. The plugin repository must feature a top-level plugin.xml file. Okay, in this case it just says, hey, I'm a plugin, this is the JavaScript module, this is intended to be an iOS, and then you point it to the code for that module. And then there's a JavaScript interface where you call Cordova exec. Okay, so you basically just use Cordova exec to call whatever native function call. Okay, so you just create the XML file, you tell it what native code you want to inject, and then you just call it with exec. Oh, so they have a nice tool chain even for publishing plugins called Plugman. Hold on, I wanted to see, yeah, native interfaces here. So let's look at the Android example. This is an example of how you would do an Android specific one. And so, yeah, here's the exec. This is basically how you would call it. Success function, fail function, so those are callbacks. The service, that's, I guess, what you're calling underneath. The action and the args. So, plugin initialization. Yeah, some features and some parameters. Here's the Java code. Plugins should use the initialize method. Writing an Android Java plugin. Okay, so here's the Java side of the execute function. I'm not actually going to implement one here. I'm just kind of browsing through to see kind of how simple it would be or how difficult it would be. And it looks pretty straightforward. You create the Java side. You inherit from their base class. You call their initialize, and then you override their execute. And then on the JavaScript side, when you call Cordova execute, and you tell it which one to execute, it ends up just calling this execute function that you overrode. So that seems pretty straightforward. If I did need to wrap something, it looks like this tutorial would walk you through it pretty quickly. Oh, and here you go. Here's how you add the permissions. You just add it in the config file. Uses permission Android name. So I guess that would be, that goes in the config XML. And I bet that's the same even if you're not making a plugin. So here, somewhere in here is where I plug in like that. I don't know where. I might need it later though, because I'm gonna want, yeah, like geolocation to do the GPS stuff. So we'll figure out where exactly to put that. Config file, target equals Android. Yeah, that's a little bit different for the plugin, but that's okay, we'll figure it out. Okay, so that's all I wanted to look at for the plugins. Okay. So accessing the native device, that's really what I want to do. I guess actually before we do that, we should like create a button with a callback. We should get some kind of interactivity going. So let's go. Where should we go? Overview, web view, web app, plugins, development paths, installing. Here we go. Create your first app. Is this what I just did? Build the app. Add plugins. Here we go. Why don't we try... Yeah, why don't we try here? This part wasn't there on the original one. So Cordova plugin search. Okay, let's try this. Cordova plugin search. And why don't we try GPS? Oh, it actually pops open the browser. So I actually don't think I need a plugin for this. Cordova plugin geolocation. I have a feeling it should be like part of the core. Let's see. Here we go. Plugin APIs. Oh, I guess they are. So in particular, I'm interested in geolocation. Here we go. Cordova plugin geolocation. So down here, why don't we actually search for Cordova plugin search geolocation? Yeah, there we go. So this, oh, it's just right up on NPM. And I want to see who is it? Who's the project owner? Where does it tell me? Anywhere? It tells me the collaborators. I just want to see if this is the official. I guess we go to GitHub and find out. Okay, yeah, this is the official Apache plugin for it, so I just wanted to kind of confirm that. So then after we find it, we add it. Cordova plugin add, yeah. So let's do Cordova plugin add Cordova geolocation plugin. It's Cordova plugin geolocation. Okay, I'm just going to grab those. Finding and adding plugins. Okay. And now it should show up. Don't save, reload it. Yeah, now it shows up down at the bottom. Cordova plugin geolocation. Hey, Dark Coder. Dark Coder says hi, buddy. Welcome. Welcome back, guys. So we added the geolocation plugin. Now, I wonder if on their README here they've got any code samples. Boom, yeah, there they go. Document.add event listener on device ready console log. Okay, so we'd probably put that in our index.js. Is that where we want to put it? On device ready. No. Oops. So, we already have an on device ready. And so I guess we don't need to do that. Oh yeah, see, it's already got the event listener here. So that part's already set up. So no, wait a second. I guess is that just by virtue of it being installed as a plugin, if the device actually gets ready, then it actually says, yeah, I'm supported. Oh no, it's probably starting up my TV emulator again. Skipping builds. No, that's gotta be for something else. Hold on, let me pop open my Android device. Or where is it? You can run over here. You got an Android device. No target specified and no devices found. Now why? Oh, there it goes. No, that's something else. Oh, maybe the phone was just lagging out or something. No target specified. Well, hold on a second. Interesting. I don't know what's... Why don't we just do this? We'll just install it like that. Why don't we try running it in the browser too, see? Navigator.geolocation works well. Well, we'll find out, I guess. Why don't we call, get current position. Supported platforms, Android, iOS, and Windows. Okay, did they have... Oh, yeah, they have a function. Boom, I'm not above copying and pasting for this example. But I need to figure out what's going on. Maybe I'll put it in there. Sure, I think that should work. So, I want to figure out what's going on with this. No. Get out of here. Remove. Okay, I can see it now. So, what's going on? How come we can't find you? And how do I give it a specific one? I don't know the device name. So, what is it? Android SDK Platform Tools ADB. Okay, so I need to add this directory to my path to. Okay, so now I should be able to do ADB list or ADB devices. And then I think I can do Android, Cordova run Android, and maybe help run Android. Okay, Cordova run Android, specify device. Okay. Now, okay. List of devices. Oh. Now, hang on a second. Is it the name on the right? Um, come on. Ares asks, this might be too vague, but when do you think you would even need to use all of this different code that you're learning, since they are all regarding different topics? Well, I wouldn't necessarily say they're all different topics. Now, I cover a lot of different frameworks, but a lot of them target the same things. So you probably noticed a trend of GUI applications, front-end applications, web apps, mobile apps. And so I guess the answer to your question is, I don't know when I would need to use one of these tools unless I know how it works and when I should use it. So the whole point is to learn these things well enough to know when they would be an option. Because if someone says, hey, I've got this, I need to do this, and I need to build an app that does that. Well, unless I know what the options are, I can't recommend the best option. And when it comes to mobile apps, there's lots of options. So there's native, you can do Java, you can do Swift and Objective-C, you can do Kotlin, you can do C++, you can do Java FX, you can do Python, you can do Kivy, you can do Gluon, you can do Beware, you can do Cordova, you can do PhoneGap, you can do React Native, you can do NativeScript. There's tons of options, and it's worth weighing them and being able to at least understand them. So someone says, should I use React Native or should I use Cordova? Well, you need to know the pros and the cons of them. You need to know, well, if my only skill set is Python and I need to make a mobile app, what's my best option? What are my options? And my head tracking got all sideways. Hold on. There we go. So the answer is, I'm not sure yet when I'd use them. It's not until after I learn it. It's not until after I'm done with this project tonight with Cordova that I'll be able to understand what a good use case for it would be. But we're going to find out. Now, the drawback, I think, to Cordova would be the speed. Because everything is rendering inside of a web view, I think that limits it to being one thread, or at least one CPU max. It's not going to look native, and you may not have full access to the native stuff without plugins. Those are the drawbacks. The benefits would be you can reuse your HTML and CSS code, and you don't have to learn how to do the native stuff. So, depending on your situation, are you willing to trade off the speed and the native look just for the ability to be able to write a quick app and reuse your CSS and everything? So if you're doing a desktop app and like an Electron app, Electron, all your custom CSS, HTML, JS, and a Cordova app, they would transfer really well. A lot of that stuff would share. So, okay, we're trying to update. We want to do something with the location. So when the device is ready, we received the event. Here's our onSuccess callback. So these are the callbacks that are going to get passed into this. And so we're basically going to try and get it, and we'll also add in a log. And we'll just log the position. And on the error, we'll just do kind of the same thing. Console log error. Oops. Okay. Let's run it. We'll do... Why don't we try Cordova run Cordova run browser, where the GPS is not supported. So I would oh! It said it was, excuse me, it said it was not supported. But it looks like the browser does somewhat support it. I will allow. I wonder how accurate that is. Is this going to tell you guys right where my house is? I bet it's going based off my IP address, I'm pretty sure. So, based off my IP address, it can probably figure out relatively close where I am. But I'm just going to go ahead and say, nope, it's totally wrong. It's nowhere near where I actually live. Because I'm in a sandbox, and it's all a trick. Okay, so the app runs there. Now I want to run it on the mobile. Cordova run Android. But how come it's not finding my device now? Let's see, it says no target specified. No target found, deploying emulator, but the emulator's already going. Cordova, how do I specify the device? Oh, that's Ionic. That's a little different. So let's see. I solved the problem. I typed in the command line ADB devices. No, that's... I had a different problem when you plug in. Simply unplugging, plugging it in did the trick. Settings tethering. Yeah, I have a feeling my emulator just kinda got into a weird state. So let me try turning it off. And now if I run it again, hopefully now it can actually kick off the emulator. Okay, it's putting it back on the TV, but that's okay. I'm assuming the TV has geolocation. Oh, there it is. Allow GPS tool. Yes, my TV and my browser both have geolocation. Isn't that terrific? Don't you love the future? Okay, so it didn't pop up. It didn't do an alert. It didn't do an alert, and I couldn't read the console. So we're going to need a better way to represent this info. But actually, I want to see if the alert works on the phone device. Cordova run Android. What? Did it just say again? No, there it goes. It's working on the phone again. Oh no, we have to play this game where the alert is like hidden and I can't get to it. Alright, there's a trick to this. So you can see it's all squished up there. The alert is all squished up in the top. And it's only when I expand it that I can see it, but then it's underneath the menu. So the trick here is to press tab really fast right as it's coming down. Did you see that? I got it! Done. Look at those skills. Okay, yeah, but the alert's not popping up. So what we want to do is like update a message. So I guess document.body dot so we can just change the whole body, right? We're just going to change the whole body to the position coordinates latitude, just to see if this actually works. Okay, so we should be able to do run again, and hopefully it'll reload on our phone without asking me to redo the permissions again. No, wait. It doesn't seem... Did I do the code wrong? Spudley says he's waiting for the Perl GUI stream. No, I don't think I'll be doing any Perl, to be honest. The closest thing to Perl is going to be the Ruby and the Crystal. Okay, so it kind of works. Like, the GPS stuff must be working, but... Wait, what is this? Oh no, that's the Wi-Fi. So I want to update. I need to get a message back to the user somehow. So let's see. Yeah, how do we create a button with a callback? Cordova button with callback. So I'm assuming there's some kind of inter-process. Maybe not. I was thinking that there's some kind of inter-process communication, kind of like the Electron app. But that may not be the case. Okay, so we're getting the position. That code's working okay, and we did confirm that by running it in the browser. Say allow. Yeah, so in the browser it's working, but the alert Cordova Android, I guess it's called a toast. Notification.alert. In Android it would be called a toast. Navigator. Here we go. Navigator notification alert. Example. Yeah, let's try this. So let's comment out this and the alert here. Those are no good. Or those aren't what we want, at least. So on success, we want to do a navigator notification alert. GPS coordinates pulled. Title. We'll just say okay. So let's try this out. I think I'm going to have to first do, yeah, Cordova plugin add. Oops. Cordova plugin add Cordova plugin dialogues. Null Pixel, I didn't show my GPS data before. It was my IP address. So, just to be clear. But whatever, you show your IP address when you get on IRC anyway, so whatever. I'll just unplug my router and get a new one. Right? That works these days, right? I'll just do a IP config /release all, renew all, and then y'all can't touch me. Okay, so I did the plugin add. I guess I don't think I have to do any kind of import here. So why don't we just go ahead and try and run it. First, let's run it in the browser and see. Okay, so when I did the navigator notification alert, it still worked in the browser fine, but I bet it'll work better in the Android now. Because we're not just doing a regular... Oh, did it crash? No, there it goes. Oh, there it is. That's the alert. Okay, so it actually created like an actual pop-up alert. Okay, so well, they had multiple dialogues. So let's see here. It wasn't just the alert. They had alert, confirm, prompt, and beep. I suppose the alert was good enough to get some feedback. Okay, so that's cool. So how about a button with a callback? Let's see. Embed Cordova in native apps? No. Plugin API, dialogues, device, model platform version is virtual. Oh, that's cool. You can tell whether you have a virtual machine or not. Dialogues, file, geolocation. That's the one we already looked at. We're already doing that. Media, media capture, network information, screen orientation. Splash screen, status bar, vibration. I'm actually curious how that would work in the emulator. So if I add the vibration plugin, and then I'll call navigator.vibrate, and it said it was in milliseconds. So we'll say, yeah, vibrate for 3 seconds. I wonder if the emulator's like, if the screen will shake or something, or if there's like an icon. No, it doesn't look like it. It doesn't look like it told me in any kind of fashion. Oh well. Let's see. What else do we have? I wanted to do a button and try this out. So I guess if it's not doing inter-process communication, then we just do it like a regular app. So why don't we say on this index.html, let's just add a button. And we'll just say press me for GPS coordinates. And then I guess this is all you would do in JavaScript. Button pressed. And then in index.js, I guess we would have to attach it to the app. Hold on a second. Let me just Google this before I start flailing in the dark. And null pixel. Yes, I do still have to do the tab click on the pop-up boxes, but I've gotten really good at it now, so it's not even a problem anymore. Cordova button click event. Yeah, so how are they? Add event listener click. Okay, yeah. Well, that's. I wonder if I don't want to do it that way. I want to do it the other way, where I do the on click. Yeah. Okay, here we go. ID no. Yeah, so they're suggesting do it by doing it in the JavaScript and just saying go ahead and add an event listener. So yeah, like on the initialize where I'd say document get element by ID equals my button, and then over here we say ID of my button, add event listener for the click, and then we want it to do button. Well, let's make the function first. So why don't we try button pressed function, and then why don't we try the navigator alert when the button is pressed. Okay, and then so we want to call button pressed. So is that going to work? I guess I need comma. Alright, let's try running it in the browser first. There's my button. I'm not getting a callback though. Console, any tips? I wonder if it's because I denied. No, so that's something's not hooked up properly there. so do I need to do this dot button pressed? Let me try that. No, that's not doing it either. Hold on, let me go back to the Stack Overflow. Cordova button press event. Now, oh, here we go. Button on load. I want an on click. Applications typically should use document.event listener to attach event listener once the device is ready. Oh, so it's saying I should do it here? Not there. I wonder if that has any effect. Let's do a console log too, just to see. Did it said vibrate in the console? I missed that. Okay, that's good to know though. Let's see, let's run it in the browser. Console. Okay. Alert dismiss. Oh, that's okay. We'll just say, how do you do like a no function, do nothing lambda? Done pressing button callback. No, it didn't like that. It hated that. Oh. Don't need that one. There we go. Try it again. Hey, there we go. Okay, now I want to try something else too, just to make sure I understand that this is all working properly. I want to change... Yeah, we should be able to do something like... Okay, so... After we're done, why don't we hide the button? How... Shoot, do we have access to the button element while we're here? We're in the button press, so like, is the button itself, is the button what gets actually passed in? How do you change the visibility too? CSS, JavaScript, set visible, visibility. .style.visibility .style.visibility equals false. Hidden. I'm gonna try and hide the button after I press it, just to make sure we can interact back with the button the same way. No. Well, let's see. Button.style is undefined. Oh yeah, so it's not. I wonder if we have access to it. It still says button.style is undefined. I guess I gotta restart it. Oh yeah, there it goes. Yeah, it disappeared. Okay, so this, within the context of this function, does refer to the button. Does refer specifically to the button. Okay, so yeah, it's all just one process. It's just one... You don't have to do any kind of inter-process communication, it looks like. And... Spudly, it is a panda. It is a panda. But I don't have to be a panda. Watch this. I can be something a little more friendly. Like a dragon. What else? There's a whole bunch of faces, actually. Including... Team Fortress characters. They even have a hideous-looking Donald Trump and Hillary Clinton. Yeah, the panda. The panda is one of the nicer looking ones. Okay, so this is looking pretty good. We know how to access native things, and we know how to set we know how to set callbacks and listen for events. The key thing there is to do it within. So yeah, I'll clear up some of this junk. They provide this on-device ready function, and that's where you want to set up all of your event listeners. And you can set up all your callbacks in the same class, and when you want to modify the HTML page, you can just access it directly because this index.js is being put right into the page. Yeah. So you can see it's loading this index.js right into the browser with a normal script tag. It's at the very bottom. So you can see right there. So it is, for all intents and purposes, just a web page, but you do get access to some of the native things, like with the navigator notifications. That is one of those plugins that hooks into the native things. So, Spudly, those face rig ones I showed you were community ones. At least the Team Fortress ones are, and those hideous Trump and Clinton ones are too. The whole idea is for community people to make them, so it's actually very extendable. You can make your own models and stuff. Okay, so I'm curious now how this one runs in the Android. Okay. Yeah, don't worry, we got this one. Got it. No. It's hung up again. Let me try closing the apps. Okay, so now if I run Android, it tells me it can't find a device. It can't find a device, and it doesn't like this one. So I don't know what the deal is. I'll close it, and I'll just pop it open again. Luckily it loads up really fast. Look at that, it only took like 2 seconds. Okay, so restarting it doesn't take very long. Oh! What happened there? Why does it look like that now? I didn't even change. All I did was add the button. Yes. Got it. Okay, press me for GPS coordinates. Boom. Now we got the pop-up. It says button pressed. Got that one too. And then the button disappears. And I have no idea what the heck happened to the background. Is it going to do that in the browser too? Interesting. I bet when I added the button, it funked up something. But I'm not going to try and debug that now. I confirmed that the button clicking worked, the alerts work, the GPS works, so we know how to access native stuff. Very easy with the plugins that are available. We know how to go back and forth. Let's see, let's go back here and check out. So okay, we created a button with the callback, and to review how we did the button, we went into the HTML and we just made the button here. So there's nothing special about the button. All it has is an ID, no on-click events or anything, just a straight up HTML button. But in the JavaScript file for this HTML page, on the function called onDeviceReady, this is where you add the event listener. Document get element by ID, add event listener for the click, and then you tell it what function you want to run. So you just add the event listener in on device ready, and you're good to go. In this case, we created the function here that is going to do a console log, do a navigator pop-up, or whatever else you want it to do. And in this case, we're modifying the CSS style too. Spudly here, just to show you guys. You see? You can fake the GPS coordinates. So, boom. Proof they're not real. All right. What else? What else did we have on the agenda? Accessing native device. So let's look at the plugins again. So we looked at a couple plugins like the geolocation, and we also looked at the notifications one, or rather, I guess they called it dialogue. And so you can see here, it shows us which platforms support it. So we can see, oh, with the dialogue plugins, we can support Windows, browser, and mobile iOS and all that. So that one's good to go on all those platforms. Okay, so what other... Let's just kind of browse, and let's see... Let's click on Android and filter it out there. And let's sort it, yeah, by quality. So, Blink Up. That's probably something specific. Plugin country. Get the 2-letter ISO code from the Android's locale package. Legacy whitelist. Parse push handler from parse.com. Okay, a lot of these seem pretty specific. I just wanted to see... So they had some core... Yeah, here we go. On their... If you just go to their documentation page and scroll down, they've got plugin APIs. And these, I believe, are all of the officially supported Apache supported one. So battery status, camera, file. Oh, that's a real handy one. Reading and writing files on the device. Dialogues, we already looked at that one. Geolocation, we looked at that one. In-app browser, interesting. Just for those people who like browsers inside their browsers. Media, record and play audio. Media capture, record audio, video, and images. Network information, get info about wireless. Screen orientation, splash screen. Control the splash screen for your app. Status bar, vibration, and whitelist. So the camera one, excuse me. Let's see, do they have an example? A couple. Files. You just do Cordova plugin add. And just add the plugin. It automatically updates your package.json. You don't even have to do any more imports or anything, which is one of the really nice things. So look, if we go to the config.xml, we'll see all these plugins. And all I did there was Cordova plugin add, and then the name of the plugin. And once it adds the plugin, that's all you need to do. You don't have to go into your index, and you don't have to add an import statement or anything. You put it here with the plugin add command, and you're good to go. And you just start using it. So it's really easy to get started and start using the plugins. And as we can see here, Android file system layout. So that's cool if you want to read and write files. Media, let's see what kind of functions they offer here. Methods. Get current position. Oh, it's for an audio file. Get duration, media play, media pause. Pause record, seek, set volume, start record, stop record. And then there's a media capture one. And what does this one have? Methods. Capture audio, capture image, capture video. Interesting. Capture video. Okay, so you call navigator.device.capture.capture video. and that will start the video recorder application and return information about the captured video clip files. Interesting. So it doesn't even... Yeah, okay, maybe under the capture video options is where you can specify where you save it. Capture video options. No path. I see. So you get what with the media file, you get the path. I guess it stores it somewhere automatically. Okay, so what else? Once you add a plugin with that command, it adds it to your config.xml, and you are good to go. No further imports or work needed before starting to access the API in the JS file. Okay, and we'll say adding callbacks, or I guess we could just say adding event listeners. Add event listeners inside the... And the important thing there was that you add the event listener inside the on-device ready function. Okay. That's really all there is to it. And so again, if let's say we're done and we want to package it, we run Cordova build Android -- release. And then when we're all done, it's going to tell us, here's your APK. There it is. App release unsigned. And just to confirm that it all does actually work, open it in containing folder. Oh, my device is gone. Come back. We will take our APK, drop it over. Uh-oh. Hold on a second. Could not parse error string? Oh, interesting. Okay, let's try it without the release. Oh, you know what? I think I broke the code when I was hacking away in it. Is that what happened? Hold on, let's try Cordova run browser real quick just to make sure it still actually works. Yeah, okay, so that's fine. So what if we do Cordova build Android with just the debug mode? Is that one gonna work, or is that one gonna have a problem too? Let's try copying it over. Oh, that one worked! Interesting. There it is. There's our little message. Got it. First try. Got that one too. First try. Let's see how good I am at this. Okay. Spudley says, I want to see him take a typing speed test. You know, one of the things that I wanted to do was make a typing game. Like when I'm playing with one of the game libraries, like phaser.js, I wanted to make a simple typing game, like a typing speed game. So maybe you'll see. Okay, so hold on, what was that error? It was Cordova release Android could not parse error string? I think that's what it said. Yeah, so is this a common thing? Their version looks just like mine. However, if I upload, this tells me it might be because your app uses native libraries which don't match the emulator. To get a more detailed message, install your app via the terminal. Okay, let's try that. So I did add ADB. Okay, I'm going to go into this directory. I'm going to try ADB install. Is that how you do it? ADB install path to APK? Okay. Go ahead. No certificates. Oh, I thought that it wouldn't mind that it was unsigned. Hold on a second. Cordova signing app. Signing an app. Let's see. Do you have to build a key store and do all that? I don't want to do all that right now. Well, at least we know that's the issue. I know you can. So yeah, if you wanna sign it, you'll have to create a key store, which is basically Java's way of storing SSL keys and private keys and stuff. Okay. So yeah, I think to fix that, either sign it or let me try and Google that real quick. No, didn't copy. Let's see if there's a common answer. Did you edit Android manifest directly? No. This error can also occur when using the wrong signing config. Yeah, it's clearly something revolving around the signing. Let's take a look at the config.xml and see if there's anything related to signing. No, I don't see anything blatant there about signing. But it looks like if you go through the process of signing it, that should take care of it. So I'm not going to track down that one, but I would suggest if you wanted to fix that, go sign it. Go through the process of signing it. But you can just do the debug mode, and I'm not sure. I guess it's doing some more self signing. Okay, so oh yeah, I guess the end goal here was to push an app that displayed your current GPS coordinates to the screen. So let's actually tweak this code and make it do that instead of just some random alerts. So we don't need this alert. In fact, we don't even need that plugin at all. So if we go to our config.xml, we can get rid of the dialogues and the vibration one. We were just messing with those. We don't need that. We don't need this. Let's see. Let's simplify this as much as we can. Okay. So we've got a button. Okay, we don't want to hide the button anymore. Oh, we get a subscriber? Khaled Nagum has subscribed. Awesome. All of you should subscribe if you're not already subscribed for these daily live streams. Oh, yeah, actually, no, we don't want this alert at all. In fact, what we want to happen is we want to go back here. We want to get rid of all of this. And I'm going to use the awesome center tag. I just want to see if it works. Let's see. We'll just say get GPS coordinates. And then we'll have a div right next to it. Div ID equals coordinates. And then back in our index.js, when the button's pressed, we will say document get element by ID. What did I call it? Coordinates. Dot inner HTML equals coordinates, right? Hold on, so when the button is pressed is when we actually want to call get position. So the button's pressed, we want to call this, and on success, we'll actually just put in a lambda, and on error, we're just going to do the same thing. Okay, so okay. Now I've got too many. I need a parentheses there. And I don't need that one. Okay. Now here's would be the success. So when it's successful is where we're going to say, okay, get the inner HTML. In this case, actually, what I'd rather do here is say error pulling GPS coordinates. And we're going to put that right on the screen inside the element. But if it's successful, we want to actually print out their coordinates, right? So why don't we say that's going to be the, I guess the position is actually the element that's going to come into us. So we got the position dot latitude, latitude plus a BR plus position longitude. Oh, it's position dot coords dot longitude and position dot coords dot latitude. Whoa, whoa! It just crashed on me. Oh, and now it opened up something completely different. All right, okay. Let's go back to where we were. Where were we? We were in Cordova GPS tool. We're gonna code here. And we're gonna see how much of our code got destroyed. Okay, luckily it saved pretty good. Okay, so now I want to try it. We're going to say Cordova run browser. We'll try it there first. Get GPS coordinates. Let's see. Parent element is null. Okay, so button hookup is not quite working. And we do have div ID equals coordinates. So let's check this out. Let's try and also add oops. Coordinates received. And then we're gonna say, yeah, document, inner HTML. Do we say text? Inner text? No, it's HTML, because I put the BR in there. Otherwise, on failure, we want to say that. Okay, button pressed, so the button... Is it still ID of my button? Yeah? We'll call it the GPS button. Okay. Can get rid of those. Okay, so we should be adding the button listener for click, which should be running and calling failed to pull coordinates. So now we should see something in the console when we run it. Success or failure, we should see something. Console, get GPS coordinates. No? Parent element is null. Looks like we do have some kind of error. Received events. Wait. Where was the error? Come back. 56. What's happening there? Oh. Yeah, so these... Yeah, we don't need this anymore because that was part of the boilerplate that was popping up the thing that said, "Oh, your device is ready," and it doesn't exist anymore. That's why it was failing. So now if we restart it, it should be okay because it doesn't have references to things that don't exist anymore. There we go. So now we can see, yeah, failed to pull, or if we go run it on the Android app, hopefully. Okay, we'll pop it open there. We'll say Cordova run Android. After we confirm that it starts up here. Alright, Cordova run Android. Okay, now we should be able to hit. Uh-oh. We should see... Oh, there's some kind of message. No. Context mismatch. Let's see, so... Is click different in mobile? Is it press instead of click? Cordova, Android, button, press, click. I wonder... Key down. Let's see. Here we go. Cordova, phone glad on click doesn't work. I bet it needs to be... No, it says click event. On touch end? On touch end? When it's touch end. Click. On click is not fired on Cordova apps because users don't click, instead they tap. 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 Tap? Is that right? Let's see. So that was... What we have right now is... Tap? Okay. So let me... I'm going to comment out the old one, and I'm going to add in this one for tap. And let's see if tap works. Tap. I can't tell. Okay. No, that doesn't seem to be doing it either. So what was this other one someone suggested? It was not tap, it was touch in. Was that a typo for touched? I'm gonna try pressed too. Pressed. I'm just gonna shoot in the dark a little bit here. Let's see if any one of those works. Hey, one of them did work. Now which one was it? Let's take a guess. Should we take a vote? I'm gonna go with press, because that's what React Native used, was press. There was on press in React Native. No, not press. Okay. Presta. You think it was that one? Get your votes in for pressed. Is it pressed? No. Alright, so it leaves us... Was it the one that was typoed for touched, or is it actually touch-end? Calling touch-end right now. It seems so weird. Oh, I guess it's touch-end. It's the end of the touch. That makes sense. It's just like a weird past tense way of saying touched. Like, I've been touch-end. No, it wasn't touch-end. Was it touched? Was it really touched? Or is it some kind of combination of all of them that's required? No, what's going on? No, what's happening? Are we just gonna have to go through them all again? Oh no, that one worked. Well, this one, when I pushed it, it did the GPS thing as if it was actually working. But one of these should at least update, right? So why don't we try and set some kind of loading message? So we'll set a loading message. Fetching ... And then when it's done, it will update one of those. So at least then we can maybe get a little more feedback and see what's going on. So we should at least see it say fetching. No, and I saw it do the GPS thing. It did the lookup. Interesting. Interesting. Pressed? Was it tap? Do I need to go back to tap? Or is it tap-end? See, the GPS thing is that little icon there. Now hold on, this is tripping me out. If I add all of them back, is it gonna work? It's okay. I'm so confused. Is click working now? Maybe it's back to click. But I didn't have click last time. That one was commented out. Oh my gosh, it works. What the heck? I guess it must have just been running slow or something. And... Okay, so you are all wrong. It wasn't touch-end, it wasn't tap, it was... click is just working better now. Okay, well, that's hideous. So I'm gonna fix at least some of this styling. So index.css, let's fix, yeah, gradient, go away. Background image gradients, go away. Background color, how about you can stay. What else? Font size? No, we need font size like 40. Background URL? No. None. Position, absolute, whatever, that's fine. Okay. Now let's try it again. And hopefully it won't be so hideous. Alright. That's better! That's much better. Now, let's center it. Let's center it with the center tag. Yeah. Just some good old wholesome HTML. It's in red because it's awesome. Okay, now also, why don't we just add a little message that at least says latitude, and this one at least says longitude. Let's run it. Let's make sure it looks good. Get GPS coordinates. Boom. That's awesome. Uh-oh, it's taking a bit longer this time. So, they did actually mention a gotcha. They did mention a gotcha, I remember now, so hold on a second. Here... Where was it? Gotcha? No, come on, it was in here somewhere. They had like an Android gotcha, and it said something like, oh, quirks, that's what it was. There it is. They basically said, with Android, if geolocation service is turned off, the on-error callback is invoked after the timeout interval, if specified. If timeout is not specified, then no callback is called. Okay, so that's why there was nothing, there was no feedback being given. Options. Okay, so the options, we need to set the timeout. And is it in milliseconds? Why don't we give it 3 seconds? Hopefully that's not 3,000 seconds. Okay, so now if we give it some options there, let's run it again. And now it should at least call the error. Let's see if we can get it to hang. There we go. After about 3 seconds, it should eventually call. Maybe it's 3,000 seconds. Let's change it to 3. Okay, and run it again. Get, fetching, good, fetch, fetch. 1, 2, 3. No, something's a little weird there. It gets into kind of a weird state. Maybe it's in minutes. Maybe that's 3 minutes. Hold on, so where's... Get position. Yeah, let's go back up here. Geolocation, get current. Now it doesn't say, let's see, what about timeout? Okay, it looks like, yeah, it is in milliseconds. Timeout, the maximum length of time in milliseconds that is allowed to pass until the corresponding success callback is executed. Otherwise, the error callback is 1. So that's interesting. It should be calling the error callback after Android quirks, yeah. And that's only if it's turned off. So it's turned on. I don't know, it's just being weird. Maybe if I update the coordinates? No, it doesn't seem to help. Okay, well that's okay. We got it to work even though there's a little quirk there. And what I want to do is Cordova build Android. Okay, so we could publish that APK if we wanted to. I'm not going to right now, though. And so I think it's all good now. All we have is our button and the coordinates being sent. Yeah, the CSS could pretty much be completely eliminated probably, but yeah, we're not doing events or event listening or event received. Yeah, we don't need any keyframes. I don't even care what the H1 looks like because I don't have one. I'll leave the padding Yeah, I'll leave all the paddings. Those look good. Okay. So there's our button and the div for our coordinates. And then our JavaScript is actually relatively simple once we simplify it all. So we have the on-device ready where we say get the button and add a click listener. And if it's clicked, we call this function here. And all that does is get the div where we're putting out the coordinates. It calls get position, and then if it's successful, it updates the information. If it fails, it just prints out the error message. Or it just says error fetching. And the timeout should work, though it doesn't seem to be. Alright, so there we have it. Now, one thing we could use is a README. And we'll just say this is the Cordova GPS tool example. Well, it's actually a legit GPS tool, it's not just an example. You could use this for something. Let's see, Cordova GPS tool. So we'll say build with Cordova build, well, let's just say run and build with Cordova run browser, or Cordova run Android, or Cordova build Android, or Cordova build Android -- release. And I want to link to the live stream just for reference. So we'll say copy link to the stream, live stream of coding this project. And why not also add the Cordova link while we're at it. Okay. I think, let's see. Usage. Why not? I'll add a little contact info. And just an overview. So what is it? It's a simple Cordova app that runs in browser or Android that will fetch and display GPS coordinates. Boom. And you know what? One thing that I noticed is by adding this geolocation plugin, I did not have to do anything special with the permissions. I did not have to add a permission or do anything that said I need to access permissions for geolocation. It took care of all of that. All I really had to do was Cordova plugin add, and it's done. Magic's done. No extra steps after that. So, okay, I think we're good. I am going to create a GitHub repository and push this code up. This is going to be the Cordova GPS tool. Simple mobile app that fetches GPS coordinates to demonstrate Cordova capability. Okay, let's grab this remote. And actually, let's add the web URL here. Okay, and then as far as the Git, remote add origin. Oh, it's not even a Git repository. Okay. Oof, there's no Git ignore either. I have to do that all by myself. Okay. I want to ignore VS Code, node modules. Do I want to ignore No, I don't want to ignore platforms or resources or dub or anything else. I think just those two. Oh, wait. I don't want the build. Oh! Okay, so the Android file has its own git ignore that is ignoring the build folders. So we're good there. It's smart enough to do that much for me. Okay, so I think we're good. We're gonna say stable working GPS tool example. Set upstream to origin master. And push it up. Git push set upstream. Wait. Git status. Git log. Git push. Set up Steam. Set up Steam origin master. All right. Oh, let's fix those links on the README. There we go. Let's say okay. Those links should look better now. There we go. All right. Cool. There we go. There's our project. So if you want to run it and build it, you do that. Okay. Excellent. And our end goal is now done. We pushed our example up to GitHub with our GPS tool. Very simple, but it demonstrates a lot of really important core concepts. How to build, how to set up callbacks and interact with the HTML and JavaScript, which is just normal web app stuff, but also, most importantly, how to use the plugins to access native tools. And that's what we did with the GPS stuff, the geolocation nativity. Okay. So another project down. I like this Cordova. I do. I really like it because it's very accessible. As somebody who knows web application programming, this was very approachable. So I could see certain use cases for this, especially if I've already got some CSS and HTML for like a web app, and I want to reuse it. I think that's a good... Oh, so before I wrap up, I wanted to mention the REPL IT Game Jam. It just started 2 days ago, and it ends in 1 month from now. So right now there is a 1 month game jam going on, and the prize is 1 Bitcoin. So REPL IT, if you've never... A REPL is a read, evaluate, print loop. It's basically like if you've ever used Ruby Interactive Interpreter, this is a REPL. So REPL.it is a site where you can code basically online. They have online code editor and you can run code, you can save code. This is QBasic. This was my very first language that I learned was QBasic. So it's cool. It's even cool that they have QBasic on here. But they've got a bunch of all the languages you'd expect: Python, Ruby, Node, JS, C#, Java, Kotlin, like just about everything. Go. They even have Brain Freak, Bash, Crystal. Oh, Crystal. Very cool. I like Crystal. We just did a stream on Crystal yesterday. I like it actually. I really like Crystal. It seems pretty cool. TypeScript, Web, CoffeeScript, which is, I think, abandoned now. Look, you've even got frameworks like Django. But anyway, with the game development, this is what we're most interested in, because they're having a game jam. So the idea is you build a game in their REPL, like in their platform, in their editor, and you can use game libraries like Pygame. I did a stream on Pygame the other day. Love 2D, Pixel. There's another one called Piglet for Python. hold on. So let me go back to this game jam page. So here's their first game jam. You asked, we answered. On March 18th, we're kicking off our next challenge. The theme and our grand prize is 1 Bitcoin. The theme is cash. So the game has to be something revolving around this. Crypto, fiat, paper, coin. So you start by picking a language or a framework. They recommend Pygame, Love 2D, Tkinter, Java, Swing. There's Phaser, JS. There's Piglet. There's several others you have options to. And so they have a winner for first best place. That's the only one that gets the Bitcoin. But otherwise, they have a whole bunch of tutorials here that are... so like here's a starter guide with Pygame. And it's basically a tutorial on how to use Pygame in their platform, in their REPL. You can even run it right here. So get out there, try out some of these tutorials, make a game if you're interested, and try out their game jam. I just thought that was cool. So the only other thing I'm going to do before I sign off is plug everything. So if you're not on the Discord, go to devdungeon.com. And on the right side, there's a Join Me on Discord button. Go check that out. There's also a book that I wrote called Security with Go. Highly recommend you get 10 copies of that. Check out the blog, some tutorials, some projects. Most of the code that we do on these streams are all up on github.com/devdungeon. And we do all kinds of stuff. We have nightly streams now. And subscribe to youtube.com/devdungeon so you get all the good nightly streams. Lately, I created some playlists. So I've been trying to kind of categorize some of the streams that we've been doing into some cohesive categories. So if you're interested in any of these topics, you can maybe find a playlist that's relevant to you. And with that, I'm going to sign off and say thank you everybody for joining. Thank you for chatting. Thanks for the ideas and the tips and just hanging out and making it fun. I will see you guys. Oh wait, I need to save these Cordova notes. That's okay. I'll save those there. I'll go into the cookbook. I'm going to go into JavaScript. There we go. Add the Cordova notes. Adding Cordova notes. And push that up too. Okay, so now these little notes, my little reference on how to use Cordova. Nothing fancy outside of what the tutorial already gives you, but these are like the most important things to me. That's enough to get me going and get started if I come back to it. Alright. Well, thanks again, everybody. I'll see you all tomorrow.